Hello, my name is Derek from Tomcat Gas Training and welcome to this series of 3 videos that are actually nothing to do with gas. So in these 3 videos I'm going to be making something and with a bit of a Christmas theme. So last year I made my wife one of these and she absolutely loved it, and so did Georgia. So Georgia's requested one for this Christmas. So I thought I'd bring you along on a journey and show you exactly how I made this. Yes, it's a wine advent calendar. So let's stop waffling and let's get on with making this advent calendar. So welcome to part 1. Now the first thing we need to do is produce a template. So as you can see, now we need to cut this actually out. So I'm going to cut along the red line because that's where the way I was going to cut the wood. Now you can see I have taped it down now. So I'm going to be using a marker pen to mark around the outsides. You might want to use a pencil. Now, the first thing we need to do is produce a template. So, as you can see, I've got this on a piece of cardboard, ready for me to cut out with my scissors. But let's find out and have a look on the board and see what these template measurements are and what it's all about. Now, I've drawn the template onto my dry whiteboard. So you can see here, it's basically a series of triangles. Now, what I've done is, I've cut out a piece of cardboard and I've done it 2 foot by 2 foot. And the reason why I've done it 2 foot by 2 foot is because MDF and plywood in the UK comes in 8 foot by 4 foot sheets. So it makes it a bit easier that way. So for you American guys, you'll know what these measurements are, but for the English guys or the European guys, I'll put subtitles down at the bottom. So you can see basically what I've done is, I've measured the centre of the board, so a foot by a foot, and drew a straight line down the middle. I've then gone from corner to corner and corner to corner, and that's produced my basic triangle for the advent calendar for the Christmas tree, because we kind of look at Christmas trees as a triangle. So then what I've done is the red line, which you can see, is 1 inch off the blue triangle from corner to corner, so 25mm, and then the next one is 3/4 of an inch off there, but you could do it 1 inch if you wanted to, it's entirely up to you. So what I've used those 2 lines for is doing the kind of the branches for the Christmas tree. Now with these branches you don't want to go too elaborate because you've got to cut them out, so I just drew these freehand. And it doesn't really matter how you do these, or just you've got to cut them out, remember, just don't start doing really fancy shapes. But the reason for the green triangle is that's where I'm going to cut the wood with a handsaw, so it makes it easier then for me to use my jigsaw to cut out the branches. So I've not gone outside from the points of the star down to the points down here at the bottom of the Christmas tree. So that will make it a lot easier for cutting it out. Okay, so let's get back to the template, let's cut the template out, let's get it on the wood, get it marked out, and let's start cutting. Now we need to cut this actually out, so I'm going to cut along the red line, because that's where I will be, the way I will be cutting the wood. That's one side. So that's cut out now, so all I've got to do now is I've just got to cut out the shapes of the branches. So that's the first side cut out, and that's the shape the tree's going to end up by this bit. All I've got to do now is cut the rest of it out. Now you can see I have cut the full shape out. Okay, now what we're going to do is, I've got myself 2 pieces of ply, 10mm thick. They're screwed together, so you can see they're screwed together. These are roughly cut, and I have put a centre line down, straight down the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that now is I'm going to place my drawing onto here, line it up with the centre lines, I'm going to pin it down, and then I'm going to draw all the way around it. Now you can see I have taped it down now, so I'm going to be using a marker pen to mark around the outsides. You might want to use a pencil, but I'm just using a marker pen so you can actually see the outline of it. So yeah, don't use a marker pen, use a pencil. So it's just as simple as drawing now around your template. So all I've got to do where the tape is, just peel the tape off and then just continue my lines around. So we've now drawn around the outside of the template. Now you can now see I've drawn 2 red lines down either side of the wood now. And this is where I'm going to cut using my handsaw to make it easier when I'm going to be using the jigsaw to cut out the shape. So let's get this corners sliced off, and we don't want to be throwing these pieces away at the moment because we're going to need those to make a few other things. So let's get these cuts done. So the first cut we're going to do is we're going to cut along this red line. And finally, across here. the cut's done. All we've got to do now is jigsaw it. Now, next thing we need to do is actually jigsaw out our shapes. So I've got my jigsaw here with a new blade. Remember, this is two pieces of wood together, so we're going to have to cut through both pieces. So, most important now, we're using a jigsaw. I need to put these on, my safety glasses. Now, if this was MDF as well, I would be wearing a mask, but it's plywood, so I'm not going to be breathing in all the dust. So, let's go and jigsaw this out. When you're sweating, you can't see a thing out of glasses, but you get the idea. I'll now continue and jigsaw all the rest of it out. So let's get on with it. And that's the jigsaw done. All I've got to do now is get my sander out and give her a right good sanding. But how's it looking? Don't look too bad from this side. So now a time to get some sanding done, and this time I will be wearing my mask. So that's the end of sanding, and that's the first sanding we're going to do. So that's got rid of all the green pen and all the mess. So that is the end of part 1 of this making a wine advent calendar. So if you've liked this video, why don't you give it a thumbs up or leave a constructive comment down below. If you've not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe because it helps, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because we release videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. All I've got left to say is thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and tune in on Wednesday for part 2 of how to make a wine advent calendar. Cheers guys!
Thank you.